Imagine buying a home, owning your roof, and being told by a homeowners association that you cannot put solar on it.
That is the barrier Pennsylvania House Bill 1239 is designed to address. On July 1, 2026, the Pennsylvania House passed the measure 109 to 93.
But here is the important correction behind the big headline. The bill has not become law. It is now in the Pennsylvania Senate, where it was referred to the Urban Affairs and Housing Committee on July 9th.
Still, the House vote matters. It would create clear protections for solar systems on certain individually owned roofs, and it offers a useful lesson about where plug-in solar fits into the next generation of solar access laws.
Welcome to PluginSolarUS Latest News, where we break down the policy shifts, market moves, and technology updates shaping the future of plug-in solar. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Mike. Today we are talking about Pennsylvania House Bill 1239, sponsored by Representative Liz Hanbidge of Montgomery County.
At the simplest level, what would the bill do?
It would amend Pennsylvania's condominium and planned community statutes. In both settings, an association could not prohibit or restrict the installation or use of a solar energy system on a qualifying detached roof.
And detached roof has a very specific legal definition.
It does. In the bill, it means a roof of a unit that is solely owned by an individual, is not maintained, repaired, or replaced by the association, and is not designated as a common element, or for planned communities, a controlled facility in the governing documents.
So it is not a blanket right to install solar anywhere within an HOA.
Exactly. It is a targeted protection for owners of qualifying individually controlled roofs. Common roofs, shared roofs, and other common elements can fall outside that definition. That distinction is a central limitation, not a footnote.
What does the bill call a solar energy system?
The definition is broad. It covers a solar collection panel, film, shingle, or other solar energy device whose primary purpose is collecting, storing, and distributing solar or radiant energy. It also covers a solar structural component fixed in an operating position.
That sounds broader than just traditional rooftop panels.
It is broader in wording, but we need to be precise. The actual protection in the bill attaches to the installation or use of a solar energy system on a detached roof. So the broad system definition does not automatically create a clear right to put a plug-in panel on a balcony, patio, backyard, shared roof, or common area.
Could a plug-in solar panel installed on a qualifying roof potentially fall within the definition?
It could be argued to fit the definition if it is a solar energy device on a qualifying detached roof. But HB 1213 does not name plug-in solar, does not set a plug-in wattage limit, and does not create the dedicated equipment-specific pathway that a plug-in solar law would. That means the eventual application would depend on the final statutory language, governing documents, and real-world enforcement.
A solar access law does not mean an HOA loses every say over an installation. What would associations still be able to do under the bill?
Quite a lot, so long as the rules are reasonable and not used as a disguised ban. The bill allows associations to require compliance with applicable state and local health and safety standards. For electricity-producing systems, they can require compliance with applicable standards established by the National Electrical Code, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, accredited testing laboratories such as UL, and relevant Commonwealth safety and reliability rules.
So safety and code compliance remain fully on the table.
Absolutely. The bill also allows reasonable requirements for the frame, support brackets, and visible piping or wiring to coordinate with the roofing material. It allows owners to be required to indemnify or reimburse the association for installation-related loss or damage. And it allows other reasonable placement rules intended to maintain the community's aesthetic qualities.
That is the policy trade-off. No blanket prohibition, but reasonable standards can remain.
Exactly. The bill is designed to replace an absolute veto with a more structured balance between solar access, safety, and community design.
Let's talk about the people this bill does not clearly help.
The biggest gap is renters and apartment residents. A tenant usually does not own a detached roof, and many multifamily buildings have common roofs, shared exterior walls, balconies, patios, or other spaces governed by different ownership and lease rules. The bill also says its solar system subsection does not apply to a freestanding solar energy system placed on land within a property deeded other than to the association. That means it is not a simple, universal authorization for ground-mounted solar either.
And balcony-mounted plug-in solar is especially outside the bill's clear language.
Right. A balcony is not a detached roof. Neither are many patios and yards. That does not mean these systems are automatically prohibited. It means HB 1239 does not settle those questions. This is why dedicated plug-in solar legislation matters. A law that specifically addresses small, portable, ground-mounted, or balcony-based systems can speak directly to renters and to the spaces where plug-in solar is most useful.
We should return to the legislative status because that is the part people most need to get right.
As of August 14, 2026, HB 1239 has passed the Pennsylvania House. The final vote was 109 to 93 on July 1. It is now in the Senate and was referred to the Senate Urban Affairs and Housing Committee on July 9th.
So homeowners should not assume their HOA rules change today.
Correct. No statewide HOA rule changes until the Pennsylvania Senate passes a bill, the governor signs it, and the effective date arrives. The House-passed bill says it would take effect 60 days after enactment, but that provision matters only if the proposal completes the legislative process.
What can a homeowner, renter, HOA board member, or property manager do now?
Start by reading the actual bill and your governing documents. Homeowners can follow the Senate committee's consideration and share their perspective with state legislators. HOA boards and property managers can begin reviewing policies so they understand the difference between a reasonable safety or aesthetic standard and an outright prohibition. For renters and plug-in solar users, this is also a reminder to keep advocating for rules that explicitly cover the devices and locations you use, not just conventional rooftop installations.
Mike, give us the bottom line in 3 takeaways.
First, Pennsylvania's House passed HB 1239, but it is pending in the Senate. It is not law yet.
Second,
if enacted, the bill would prohibit associations from blocking solar on qualifying individually owned detached roofs, but it would still let them apply reasonable safety, installation, indemnification, and aesthetic requirements.
And third,
the bill is a meaningful solar access step, but it is not a complete plug-in solar law. Renters, balconies, common areas, and many ground-mounted systems remain outside its clear protection.
Pennsylvania's HB 1239 shows how solar rights can move forward, even when the policy focus is still traditional rooftop systems.
For plug-in solar, the lesson is simple. Solar access and plug-in access overlap, but they are not the same thing. Strong consumer policy has to account for the places people actually live and the systems they can actually use.
Read the full article and track the bill's status through the Pennsylvania General Assembly at PluginSolarUS.com. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Mike. Thanks for listening.